Good day, and welcome to today's FansUnite Entertainment as part of the Planet MicroCap Showcase. It is now my pleasure to turn the floor over to your host, CEO Scott Burton of FansUnite Entertainment.
Hi, thank you everyone for joining in and watching this presentation. We've got about 25 minutes, so I'll get through the slides quickly and then get to as many questions as we can. And I understand that I will receive copies later. If I don't get to your question live here, we can respond to you via email. So as mentioned, my name is Scott Burton. I'm the CEO of FansUnite Entertainment, a publicly traded company out of Canada here, trade on the CSE under the symbol FANS, F-A-N-S, and on the OTCQB under FUNFF. I'll leave the second slide for other people to read the disclaimer and jump into our presentation. So FansUnite, we are in the online gaming, gambling, betting space. We cover casino, we cover esports, and we cover traditional sports. We do that globally from a technology perspective. So we provide technology to other operators. We can provide gaming licenses to operators, and we do operate our own sites in certain areas. So three arms of the business is B2B, B2C, and then our casino game side. People following the space know that online gambling is a massive industry. It's gotten a lot more interest in the last couple of years with the PASPA repeal in the U.S., So we've seen about half the U.S. states now are allowing sports betting or will, and we expect that to move through almost all the states. Canada is also making some moves. So it's truly a global space, well over $150 billion. And we're a newer company on the public market, so got public last year, 2020. But major inflection point right now for us, where we have accomplished a number of things which we'll touch on, some acquisitions, merge, revenue growth, and every part of the business now is into the revenue generation stage with lots of catalysts ahead. So we have lots of news since we combined entities, FansUnite and Ascot Entertainment last August, and plenty of catalysts ahead. The next slide just shows what the organization looks like currently. So FansUnite is the parent company, operates some brands with that name below under FansUnite. In August of last year, FansUnite and Ascot Entertainment merged. Ascot was a leading technology provider of esports betting software, so providing B2B services for the esports betting market. And then through an acquisition earlier in 2020, we have McBookie.com, which is a direct-to-consumer UK sports betting site, and a significant part of our revenue currently. It's a business now that's been around 10 years, profitable, and was brought into the FansUnite sort of business structure last May. Below that are some of the brands we run. We'll touch on a few of them as we go forward here in the presentation. You can visit our site to get more information. Just in terms of the execution since the merge, so as mentioned, FansUnite and Ascot Entertainment merged last August. During that time, we closed a $5 million brokered financing. In September, we announced a partnership which would bring us into the U.S. market, initially with esports betting. So we are providing esports betting software through GameCo. GameCo is licensed throughout the U.S. and already has a number of relationships with casinos, the brick and mortar casinos, and we're looking for an online esports betting solution. So we announced that we would target that market with GameCo. We have our own games division, so we build casino-style games, so built off of a certified random number generator system. And we announced our first distribution partnership for those games with the EAR platform. And that will allow our games to get into the ears over 120 online casinos and sports books. McBookie, as mentioned, had their biggest revenue month in a 10-year history. So we've been able to come in and increase McBookie revenue significantly. We doubled their revenue last year and expect to double it again or more than double it again this year. In November, we uplisted from the pink sheets to the OTCQB. December, we got our 2 new gaming licenses, so online gambling licenses from the Malta Gaming Authority, which is one of the oldest gambling jurisdictions in the EU. So we have both B2B and B2C licenses out of Malta now. And then we announced our first deal through our Gameco partnership, which is with the Sky Ute Casino. So they currently operate an online sportsbook. We will be providing them with a dedicated esports betting site. January, we did another financing. So we closed an oversubscribed brokered financing of $13.4 million. So we're in a very good cash position right now. We have no debt. We have about 15 million Canadian in the bank, close to 10 million in unexercised warrants, and significant revenue growth. And then in March, we're adding to our licenses globally. So we have submitted our application for the UKGC, which is the United Kingdom Gambling Commission. So we'll do the same there as we did in Malta and get 2 licenses, B2B license so we can sell our software and services, and then a B2C license so we can provide direct-to-consumer operations under that. The UK has been long considered the gold standard in gambling licenses, so it's a sort of testament to our ability to get licensed and our software. Getting through technical audits as we did in Malta, we've done in the Isle of Man previously, and we'll get through the UK. So we're anticipating a UKGC licenses by the end of this quarter, sometime around late May, early June. Some of the group highlights, we mentioned we have B2B, but on the B2C side, we have four sites live that you can see there: McBookie, Vamos, FansUnite, and Esports Bets. Combined, we've done over 350 million betting volume. We have a number of B2B deals signed with our platform. That's the software platform we provide. Over 300,000 registered users combined, and a number of global partnerships that we've signed to date. So we'll start on the business side, or the lines of our business. One is being this B2B. We have 2 parts here. The first one is the Chameleon gaming platform. And what this is basically a full solution for esports, sports betting, and iGaming. So we provide everything here. We can do a full turnkey solution for anyone who wants to run a betting site, whether that be sports betting, esports betting, both, and with casinos. So we do everything. So it's a full, what they would call a PAM, or player account management system. We handle all of the payments. We handle the age, identity, location verification systems. We have the server setups globally to satisfy local requirements, and then we have the gaming licenses. So we can turn on anybody in a short period of time, whether they have their own gaming license or not. If they don't, then we can sub-license a gaming license from one of our jurisdictions. The revenue model on this is we'll get an upfront integration fee. Then we get a guaranteed monthly minimum license fee. So we get a guaranteed revenue every month. And then we participate in the upside. So there's no limit to that. So as our partners grow, we take a revenue share on their net gaming revenue, so unlimited upside. So it's a very scalable model for us, and with our multiple licenses, we can operate, anywhere around the globe pretty much. The other B2B part of our business is Ascot Games, and Ascot Games is our game studio. So we are producing random number generated games, which would be casino-style games, and what we're doing here is filling a void that we found from our history in esports betting, which dates back to 2014. We were one of the earliest people to get into the esports betting space. We launched the first ever esports daily fantasy site in 2014, and we realized that the sports books we were looking at and partners really want to drive people to the casino as well, just to increase lifetime value and not have any exit points for their users. So we saw a gap in the demographic. So esports betting is 18 to 30-year-olds, 18 to 32-year-olds primarily is where the bulk of them are, and they're gamers. And the casino-style games that are out there today weren't really appealing, so we've set out to build our own games. So we have a few here. If you go to ascotgames.com, you can see some video reels of other ones. So we have 4 games completed currently. We are working on our 5th right now. Our aim is to have 10 games complete before the end of this year, and we're just starting to work on the business development and distribution. I mentioned earlier we signed our first deal with a casino games aggregator called the EAR platform. So we will integrate our games into their platform. That opens up over 120 online sports books and casinos around the world. And then we will continue to do those types of integrations to get massive distribution on our games. So that's a big part of our business development plan this year, is to get the distribution of Ascot Games. So the B2C offerings, we have a few. McBookie is a UK-focused, really a Scottish-focused sports book. FansUnite is a social sports site. We have some esports sites. One was Esports Bets, or esp.bet, and esportspools.com. And then our most recent is Vamos GG. So I'm just going to touch on two here. One being McBookie, which I mentioned is our largest revenue generating site currently. So in the last 3 years, they've done over 135 million in volume. We just recently announced their Q1 results, which was the best quarter in the history, over 28 million in turnover or betting handle for McBookie. The gross gaming revenue was up over 130%, so over 980,000 Canadian. So as mentioned, last year our goal was to double McBookie's revenue after the acquisition. We did that, and then we're on path to more than double again this year. They currently operate under another license, a sub-license in the UKGC, so that's part of our motivation to get our own UK license, which is in process now. Then on the esports side, because we own our platform and licenses, we have the ability to launch sites very quickly, and Vamos GG is an example of that. You know, we looked at some niche markets, and we've seen the success that McBookie has by just focusing on really the Scottish market and carving themselves a big piece of that pie. We looked at the esports betting side and looked at a few regions. In Brazil, primarily we went after because it's a massive, it's a big population base, but they're huge into gaming, specifically Counter-Strike. And Counter-Strike is where we got our start in esports betting. So because we own the platform, we launched this site. We can localize very quickly, so it's all in Brazilian Portuguese. All the payment methods are focused on the Brazilian market, and then all of the partnerships we sign are Brazilian. So some of our acquisition costs go down a bit when we're signing talent that's just Brazilian Portuguese speaking, but also our conversion rates go up significantly when we localize the way we do around payments. So Vamos GG is live now, and then we can look to duplicate this model in other regions where we don't have B2B partners, but we see an opportunity to launch a brand. Team is very big for us. So after that 13 million financing in January, we got to work on scaling up the team and everything else. So we've added probably about 15 people to our organization in the last couple of months. Majority of our team is in Vancouver, BC, Canada, but we also have a group in Malta. We have people now in Brazil. We have people in Ukraine and people in Kazakhstan and Ireland. So we are global. We have multiple operations set up to satisfy local gaming requirements. And then we've got a really experienced board of directors who joined post-merge of Ascot and FansUnite. So Harish is the former president of Paddy Power Betfair Asia, which is now the Flutter Group, the largest betting group in the world. Chris Grove is very well known and respected in the U.S. market. So he's a partner at Eilers & Krejcik Gaming, which is a leading research group in the betting space. He's founded a number of companies on his own, mostly around the affiliate space in gambling, and sold those. And then James Keane was a founding member of the Paradise Poker team, so it's been around since the very early days of online poker. That was acquired by Sporting Bet, where he stayed on as a managing director, and he's currently the CEO of a social casino game company. So very well-respected people in the industry, been very valuable or very hands-on with what we're doing, especially around M&A. So we are now looking at more M&A opportunities as part of our strategy going forward in 2021. Licensing is the next one here, and it's a big, big part of what we do, and it's part of our experience and speaks to, I think, the infrastructure we've put in place over the years, and this has been years. So I was the original founder of Ascot Entertainment. We started the company back in 2014, and Darius, my president of FansUnite, founded FansUnite, and they've been around for 6-7 years themselves. So this is not something that can be done overnight or very quickly. This has been years of development and getting through these licensing processes. So I mentioned the MGA, or the Malta Gaming Authority. We received 2 licenses there in December, B2B and B2C. Through a software agreement on our B2B side, we have access to a Curacao license, which is a pretty flexible jurisdiction that some people want to use. The Gambling Commission is the UKGC, and this is specifically for the UK. We are in the process of getting this license, still on track, where we expect to have approvals either the end of May or early June. And then in the US, we started the entry into the US with our partnership with GameCo. And the first deal we announced is to go into Colorado with the esports betting site. We're now doing some work on New Jersey ourselves, so getting FansUnite licensed as a technical solution provider in New Jersey. And then we'll look to roll out in other U.S. states as the business development requirements come along. And then Canada has become an interesting market. One, we're based here, but it's typically been a closed market because it's a government monopoly. So the provincial governments here operate any of the lottery corporations or betting. So they're making moves here to change the single event betting rule in Canada, which is an old law they have here that doesn't allow you to bet on just one sporting event. That's looking to change very soon. But we're also seeing moves by specific provinces to open up to outside operators. We expect Ontario to be open by the end of this year. Ontario is our biggest province. It's a very good betting market. So we're looking forward to being able to operate in Canada. And that could either be with our software, so providing a platform to people in Canada who want to get into this space but have no experience in online betting to date, or we could go in direct as an operator ourselves. So we're following the developments here. We expect Ontario by the end of the year and a couple of other provinces to follow next year. We'll get to just the summary here, and it goes back to the original slide. We are in a huge market that has very good growth for the years to come, not just in U.S. and Canada, which we expect to have massive growth, but still globally. We've seen it to be a bit pandemic-proof as revenue on all fronts has gone up for us during this past year. The major inflection points, so all the revenue streams I mentioned, which would be B2B, B2C, and games, are all turning on now. So that's where we'll see massive revenue growth this year. The B2C growth just through McBookie alone, we're more than doubling, but then the turning on of Vamos should add to that, and we may look to add more direct-to-consumer later this year. We just received our Malta gaming licenses, which opens us up to EU operators. So all of a sudden, the business development opportunities have opened up significantly. There's probably 150 different countries we can target with that license. And then a lot of catalysts still to come. So we're on the path to getting our UK license. There's plenty of more US expansion we expect. Revenue growth, completing over 10 games or up to 10 games this year on the RNG side. And M&A is something we are looking at very closely right now with the board, especially off the back of the financing we did, our current cash position, and then the opportunities in the market. I think we just got a few more minutes. I'll put up the thank you slide. So again, thank you for the audience who's shown up. I will jump into questions, but my email address is there. If something comes up later, you can reach me, and I'll just start getting through the questions. And as I said, if we can't get through them all, I believe I'll be getting the questions sent to me later with email addresses, so we'll respond that way. The one question was about the UK and licensing, and that one we have submitted. We've been told it was a very clean submission. We've been through this process in the Isle of Man, Malta, and some of the U.S. So we're confident in the submission. It's just a matter of getting through their regulatory I guess, timeline, which we expect, based on what they've told us, is end of May, early June. So this year, the next question is about the revenue generator. So currently, and what we expect this year is it will still probably be McBookie. There's a big unknown in terms of the games and them taking off when we get them distributed. So that could be massive, but right now and everything we're looking at and forecasting, the B2C side, so McBookie with some Vamos, will be the biggest revenue generator this year. Earnings release. So we are expecting to put out our earnings on April 30th. That would be for the 2020 year. And it will be for FansUnite totally. So it's for the entire company, which will include the subsidiaries of which McBookie is one. And then Q1 will be done by the end of May. And then the question around the money we raised. So it is a lot on growth and scaling. So we raised the money in January. In the last couple of months, we've added, I think, 15 or just over 15 new employees. So the team size is growing rapidly. We will be speeding up the game production. So there'll be some of the funds will be going towards that. Additional licenses, so there is quite a process in terms of legal work and licensing fees, so we will be doing that. And then M&A is a big focus. So we wanted to have a cash position to be able to jump on opportunities as they come out. Updates. There's one asking about updates around the ones that are, yes, sort of out of our hands at the moment. So the UK license we've talked about, the Sky Casino. So we did put out a release, and so we have done our work. So we're just one part of the Sky esports book. We're the software provider. We had to do all of the remote installation on their servers to be Colorado compliant. We put in the payment systems, we put in the geofencing software, and now we're just waiting for the approval for them to turn it on. So that's not up to us, but our work is done. The site is ready to go through our testing, and it's just a matter of them getting the okay to go ahead. Casino game development, I would say yes, we are on pace to have over 10 done this year. Our 5th one is underway. The production of those is going to be speeding up. So that another 5 this year, which we expect to get done. And then license to operate in Canada. Yeah, that's what will be the case. So currently, you cannot legally operate in Canada unless you're the government or have been in some way given a license to operate with the government. There are offshore operators, so that's part of the incentive for provinces to open up and do it properly in terms of regulation and issuing licenses, and that's what Ontario is looking to do. So one, give consumer better choice, but do it in a regulated way and in a way where you can collect the tax revenue and then have some more controls in place. So what you see right now is offshore operators targeting Canada, but not paying taxes or fees into Canada. So we have sat on the sidelines. We don't take bets in Canada, and we don't allow any of our white label partners to take bets in Canada. We're waiting till there is a proper framework in place, and then we will apply for that license. And we think we're in good position because we have heard that Ontario is looking to places like Malta and the UK for some regulatory frameworks and advice, and we'll be licensed in both those jurisdictions. So unfortunately, I believe that's the time we've been given for this. There's still more questions here. And as I said, I believe I'll be getting them sent to me, and I will respond to those via email. And on the last slide, my email address is there as well. So thank you again to everybody for listening, and that's it for us today.
Thank you. This does conclude today's webcast. Thank you for your participation, and have a wonderful day.